I love it. I love it. Wow, I love it. Look at this. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Hey, I'm not surprised.
Hey, what's poppin', my bros, my homies, what's good? The first UFC card of this new year is going to be Nassourdine Imavov taking on KG, a great main event. As always, before we get into breaking down the fights, making predictions, I'm going to show you guys my final bets of last year. After I show you guys my final bets on my Patreon, then I'm going to show you the MoneyCity comments, and then we're going to break down fights. Now, my final bets on the Sean Strickland and Cannonier card, I had Rinat Fakhretdinov minus 110, that was money. Said Nurmagomedov plus 100, that's money. Cannonier plus 100, that's money. McKenna plus 160, that's money. My only loss was Machete at plus 105. Now, I did bet on Fiore grappling. Remind me to break down these events, these no-gi grappling Fury events. My Fury bet was Petrosky, Gillian Robertson minus 105, pure money. And the final bet last year was Cage Warriors. And again, it's money. Again. Now guys, moving into the MoneyCity champions of 2022, the final champions, we had Kylo, who went back to back. Kylo took Said Nurmagomedov, Jake Matthews over 1.5 and Cannonier over. It's pure money, that's money. Then we had Garapolo, Arman, Doba, Rinat, that's money. Rocky went to MoneyCity again, this guy gets the money. Rinat, Albazi, Michael Wallach-Seychuk, pure money, that's money. And the final MoneyCity comment is Matthew Venicio, Cannonier, Albazi, and Marquez was gonna win. He was gonna win, pure money. Remember guys, if you want your MoneyCity comment to feature on the next breakdown, you have to win your MoneyCity comment and you have to hashtag MoneyCity. Alright, first breakdown, let's go. Hamzat smash the like button. Let's go. Alright guys, moving into the first matchup on this card, we've got the Zombie Girl taking on Sijara Eubanks. Now what the Zombie Girl does well is not what Sijara Eubanks does well. Right, there's a clash of styles between the Zombie and Sijara Eubanks. And also looking at what Zombie Girl does not do well is different to what Sijara Eubanks, in my opinion, does not do well. Right, the weaknesses are also different. For anyone that's seen a fight for the Zombie Girl, and I've actually been at one of her fights live against Molly McCann in London, you know, this girl's just crazy, right? She's looking to just scrap. She's looking to just be in a brawl, in a mad fight. You know, some people might speak about Zombie striking defense being pretty bad, and to be honest, it is. You know, her striking defense is pretty bad. But that's really what the Zombie Girl's looking to do, man. Like, you're gonna land your shots, and she's gonna land her shots. And the difference is when she lands, you're going to go to the mat. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what the Zombie Girl is all about. Her striking defense is terrible, but she's looking to scrap. She's looking to brawl. That's what she wants to do. Now on the flip side, Sijara Eubanks, this girl's a grappler, a good wrestler, a good BJJ player. But I don't think she's the best striker. You know, that's going to be Sijara's real advantage in this matchup. You know, the ability to take the Zombie Girl to the mat and just bring her into that wrestling, jiu-jitsu world. But like I said at the start of the breakdown, I think what Sijara's not good at, it's going to be like cardio. It's going to be like having a good first round one and then continuing that past round one. You know, I took Melissa Gatto and it's like you could see Sijara Eubanks just fatiguing bad. And Melissa Gatto was a nice underdog. And I even took Beth as like a plus 300 like years ago against Sijara Eubanks. And I kind of feel like that has been Sijara's weakness. You know, a good first round one and then just kind of fades. So yeah guys, even if Sijara Eubanks does win round one, if she doesn't get a stoppage, you know, what's going to happen round two? You know, the Zombie Girl might start to land her shots. You know, if it stays on the feet, the shots might start to land. For me, I'm going to side with the underdog. I'm going to side with the striker. Maybe she loses round one. But if Sijara slows down, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to side with the Zombie. to keep it on the feet past round 1. That's my pick. Alright guys, moving into a matchup between Jimmy Flick taking on Charles Johnson. Now Jimmy Flick did retire for like 2 years and now he's back. I know a lot of people are looking at the betting line thinking, you know, this betting line is a madness, and to be honest it kinda is. Now speaking about what Jimmy Flick does well compared to Charles Johnson, I think Jimmy Flick is just like really good at jiu-jitsu. I don't think he's a good striker. I watched this fight against Cody Durden and he did win this fight. You know, he showed the, flying triangle. Right, the flying triangle was good, but if you look at Jimmy's stand-up, if you look at the striking, it's terrible. Now, if he goes in there and outstrikes Charles Johnson, I was wrong. But I don't think I'm going to be wrong with that. Guys, when I think of Jimmy Flick, I think of opportunistic jiu-jitsu player. You know, someone who's going to take the opportunity to grab your neck. You know what I'm saying? I think of jiu-jitsu and not much more. Now on the flip side, you've got Charles Johnson, who is a Muay Thai striker. But in my opinion, Charles Johnson's not like a real Muay Thai guy. When I think of Muay Thai, I think of Fiziv. But yeah, Charles Johnson does apparently train or has trained at Tiger Muay Thai. So yeah, maybe we can see a little bit of that in this fight because that was not there against Zhalgas. You know, that robbery against Zhalgas was pretty disgusting, I'm not gonna lie. Now guys, the only real way I see Jimmy Flick winning this matchup, like I said, an opportunistic jiu-jitsu player. He's gonna win the fight by submission if he does win, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I think Charles Johnson, although he's been quite disappointing in both of his UFC fights, should be able to beat Jimmy Flick, considering Jimmy Flick's striking's pretty bad, his striking defense is pretty bad, and he's been away for 2 years. So yeah, I'll side with Charles Johnson. Alright, moving into the next matchup, we've got Daniel Argueta taking on Isaac Dulgarian. Now this is going to be grappler versus grappler, wrestler versus wrestler. Argueta is a good wrestler. Dulgarian does seem to be a good wrestler. Now guys, if you go to UFC Fight Pass, you can literally watch Dulgarian's whole LFA career in the space of like 7 minutes. He just dusts every opponent, and he pretty much does the same thing to each of his opponents, you know, a powerful takedown, and then he just moves straight into mount. You know, the top control's really good, but the level of opposition isn't great. You know guys, it's kind of a weird thing when the level of opposition is not really good, but we discredit the fighter because of that, rather than just looking purely at the techniques that they're offering. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to discredit Isaac Dulgarian because, like I said, you can go to UFC Fight Pass and within like 7 minutes you've watched his whole LFA career. It's impressive. Now guys, if Isaac Dulgarian can go in there and do that to Dan Argueta, you know what I'm saying? If he can do that, then that's going to be the most impressive one yet. Because as we know guys, Dan Argueta, this guy's got good cardio, strong wrestling, strong top control. You know what I'm saying? This is a mirror match. Now my prediction with this mirror match, I'm going to side with Dan Argueta purely because he's done it against better opposition, but that's no real reason to pick Dan. You know what I'm saying? It's no real reason, but it's the only reason I can think of. You know, Isaac Dulgarian has completely destroyed all of his LFA opponents. Can he go in there and completely destroy Dan Argueta? Can he do that? Considering this is going to be his best opposition yet, I'm going to say no, but I'm excited to see this matchup. I'm going to side with Dan Argueta to win this fight. Alright, moving into the next matchup, we've got Allan Nascimento taking on Carlos Hernandez. Now guys, what I really love about Allan Nascimento, this guy's basically a 125 version of Charlie Oliveira. You know, he does train with Charlie Olives, and when you look at the tape, when you just look at the tape of Allan Nascimento, you can see the similarities. You know what I'm saying? You can see it. He just looks like a Charlie Oliveira fighting at 125. You know, Charlie Oliveira uses Muay Thai with his striking, you know, quick, powerful calf kicks, powerful body kicks. That's what Nascimento does on the feet. And of course, if you take Allan Nascimento to the mat, this guy's got brilliant jiu-jitsu. You know, like I said, I really believe Nascimento is just a 125 Charlie Oliveira. And that's scary. Now, when you look at Carlos Hernandez, I think there's a lot of heart, good cardio. I think the output with the boxing is pretty good. You know, maybe arguably better boxing than Nascimento, but he's not going to have better Muay Thai kicks. You know what I'm saying? He's not got better kicks and he's not got better jiu-jitsu. You know, maybe the cardio's better for Hernandez, but like I said, those two main weapons for Nascimento, the calf kicks, the body kicks, Muay Thai kicks, along with the Brazilian jiu-jitsu, those two main weapons I really do see being a problem for Carlos Hernandez. My prediction has to be the Charlie Oliveira of the 125 division, Allan Nascimento, to just land beautiful body kicks, land beautiful calf kicks. And if this fight goes to the mat, I think he's going to submit Carlos Hernandez. So my pick, Nascimento to win this matchup. Moving into the next matchup, we've got Mateus Mendonca taking on Javid Basharat. Now, Mateus Mendonca's 10-0, Javid Basharat 13-0. Somebody's O has got to go. Now, guys, I know more about Javid Basharat, so I'm going to start with Mateus Mendonca. You know, highlight what I do know, and then we're going to speak about Javid. Now, Mateus Mendonca, this guy seems to be a Muay Thai striker. Right, the power is pretty good. You can see on the Contender series with his Smurf hair. Big knockout, nice knockout. So yeah, Mendonca 10-0, Muay Thai, big power, blue hair. Now on the flip side, the Snow Leopard, Javid Basharat. I think this guy's awesome. I think Javid Basharat's the real deal. I really do. You know, I bet Javid Basharat against Trevin Jones. I bet him against Tony Gravely. And both of those guys are like, you know, those are real UFC fighters. You know, those ain't just trash cans. Now, guys, when you're looking at Javid Basharat, the striking's good, the wrestling's good. But, guys, to be even more specific, when we're looking at the specific attributes that make Javid Basharat, like, good, when we're really looking at his specific attributes, in my opinion, it's going to be, like, intelligence. It's going to be composure. It's going to be the ability to fight better as the fight's going on. You know, most fighters they start well, and then as the fight goes on, they slow down. You know, they're downshifting through the gears. But Javid Basharat, in my opinion, is the opposite. You know, he's upshifting. He's going through the gears. He's upshifting as the fight goes. Whereas like 90% are downshifting. They start quick, they slow down. That's not the case for Javid Basharat. Yeah, those are the attributes of Javid Basharat that I really like composure, intelligence, good cardio, the ability to get better as the fight goes on. So yeah, these are all the attributes that I believe make Javid Basharat a good fighter. And if you put this up against good competition, which it has been up against good competition already, you know, Tony Gravely and Trevin Jones, it looks good. I think it's going to look good again. I'm going to side with the Snow Leopard, Javid Basharat, to win this matchup. Moving into a matchup between Mateusz Rebecki taking on Nick Fiore. Now, both of these guys are grapplers. Both of these guys are jiu-jitsu players. You know, Rebecki showed us on the Contender, look, I'm going to get into a single leg takedown. When I achieve the single leg, I'll achieve half guard, which he didn't achieve. He was stuck in full guard. Then the opponent was able to work back to the feet. But Rebecki was adamant to get this fight back to the mat. And instead of going for a single leg takedown, this time he switched it up and went for a double leg. And this was the last time that the fight went to the mat. And that's when Rebecki showed us, look, my jiu-jitsu is spot on. I can finish a rear naked choke from this position. I don't even need the back. Just show me your neck. I'm going to squeeze it. And that's what Rebecki done. It was a different variation of the rear naked choke, but beautiful finish. A beautiful, beautiful finish. Now on the flip side, Nick Fiore is also a good grappler. You know what I'm saying? The jiu-jitsu does seem to be pretty good for Nick. But then you're looking at Nick's record and he's only had like 6 pro fights. You know what I'm saying? There's a big experience difference. And I just kind of think like if you're going to win, you're going to have to be able to use your jiu-jitsu. Can you use your jiu-jitsu against Rebecki? Probably not. Like, don't get me wrong, Nick Fiore's going to try. You know, if Rebecki takes him to the mat, he's going to show him, look, I know all of these positions. You know what I'm saying? He's going to try to use his BJJ. And guys, when the matchup is on the feet, Nick Fiore kind of likes to kick the opponent. Like, there's a lot of kicks. So yeah, that's the game of Nick Fiore. When we're on the feet, he's using kicks. If we go to the mat, he's going to try to use jiu-jitsu. But if we go to the mat, I don't think the jiu-jitsu is going to work against such an experienced Rebecki. I don't think it's going to work. So yeah, my prediction for this matchup, I've got to side with Rebecki. I think his jiu-jitsu's better. He's got more experience, and that's why I'm making that pick. Rebecki wins this matchup. Potentially submits Nick Fiore, even though Nick's got good jiu-jitsu. So yeah, that's my pick. Alright, moving into the next matchup, we've got Abdul Razak Alhassan taking on Claudio Ribeiro. There's a lot of power in this matchup. Like, both of these guys super powerful, and that kind of makes you lean towards like the under or the fight not going the distance. You know what I'm saying? A lot of power in the hands of Abdul Razak. Then you look at the opponent, Claudio Ribeiro, you know, on the Contender Series, complete dusteration. You know what I'm saying? A complete dusting. So yeah, that's like the first main thing with this matchup that I kind of want to address. Both of these guys, super powerful. Now, speaking about an advantage that Abdul Razak Alhassan may have with this matchup, I feel like if he grapples Claudio, that's a big advantage. You know what I'm saying? Like, push the opponent against the fence or even take the opponent to the mat. You know, the grappling should be an advantage for Abdul Razak. And that's really how you're going to like fatigue Claudio Ribeiro. You know, if you can push him against the fence, make his arms heavy, you know, put the blood in the arms, you're going to fatigue the opponent. You know, so I kind of expect Abdul to implement that in his game plan. You know, look to grapple the opponent. Now, guys, on the flip side, Claudio Ribeiro, this guy's quick. This guy's explosive. You really see that on the Contender Series, right? Quick, explosive, bang. Complete dusteration, real quick. So this is really how I see this matchup playing out. If Alhassan tries to strike with Claudio, he might go to Shadow City. He really might. Now, if Alhassan really wants to win the fight and he's smart about it, he should grapple the opponent. At least try and make the opponent fatigued. I think it's one or the other. I don't think this fight's going to go the distance. I'm going to side with the underdog. I just think he's too quick, too explosive. And I really think he's going to starch Abdul round one. That's my pick. I'm taking Claudio Ribeiro. If you waited to smoke with me, amen. If you've been smoking this whole time, double amen. If you're not a smoker but you enjoyed the smoke breaks, that's always been a triple amen, gang. Let's go. Now, a few things to say with this smoke break. If you want all of my bets that I'm personally making on this card, there's only one way to do that, and that's to be on my Patreon. Super fair price, super cheap price, $6. I did post all of my final bets of 2022 at the start of this breakdown, so you can go back and check that if you want. You also get a chance to be in my Discord group by being on my Patreon. I do believe I'm the best YouTube gambler on the platform. That's just my opinion. But yeah, now the second thing I want to say with the smoke break, MMA lock of the night. Hey, no respect, G, no respect. Zero respect. I've seen on Twitter that this guy's robbed a lot of people, scammed a lot of people, and that's no respect. It's no respect. You know what I'm saying? I don't know exactly how he did it, but he had a competition. People paid to be in the competition, expecting to be paid back, and they wasn't. So yeah, MMA lock of the night. No respect. Top dosser. But yeah, guys, it feels good to be back. Amen to all my brothers. Amen to all my homies. Let's get back to the Money City. You know what I'm saying? Let's jump into breaking down the rest of this card. Let's go. Moving into the next matchup, we've got Nurmagomedov taking on Barcelos. Now, guys, I think there's going to be a few people that are going to be looking at the betting line thinking this betting line is crazy. And maybe it is, you know, maybe the betting line is slightly off on this matchup, or not slightly off, maybe more than slightly off, because Barcelos is good. Raoni's good. You know what I'm saying? You've got Nurmagomedov like minus 500, minus 600. It's maybe off. But that really goes to show like just how good Nurmagomedov is, that so many people are willing to back him against Barcelos. Guys, if you said to me like Nurmagomedov was made in a Russian lab, I would not disagree. You know, the one thing that really stands out for Nurmagomedov is Russians aren't typically good strikers. But that's not the case for Nurmagomedov. You just have to look at the kicks of Nurmagomedov. Like, this guy's kicking ability is next level. It is so good. I would really compare it to like Wonderboy. Like, the kicks are that good. So you've got 10 out of 10 kicking, 10 out of 10 grappling. He's really good with his footwork. He's smart. Good cardio. Nurmagomedov was made in a Russian lab. Now on the flip side, Rony Barcelos, this guy's really good, but there is going to be a couple things that aren't in the favour of Rony Barcelos. And the first thing's going to be, he doesn't really move his head. You know, the head movement's kind of non-existent. And the second thing, if you go back and watch the fight against Imavov, you'll notice that Imavov uses a lot of footwork and Rony can't really find his shots and he becomes kind of inactive. Now imagine a guy that can kick with you, grapple with you, excellent footwork, excellent cardio. You know, this is going to be Rony Barcelos' biggest test to date. And it's also going to be Umar's biggest test. And my prediction's going to be Nurmagomedov is going to dominate Rony Barcelos. Now guys, moving into a matchup between Ketlen Vieira taking on Raquel Pennington. I think this matchup's good. You know, I've kind of struggled making a prediction with this matchup. And the reason for that is Raquel Pennington is experienced. She's a good wrestler. She's a good boxer. Cardio's good. Output's good. And I've really watched a lot of tape on Raquel. And she kind of starts all of her attacks with the lead hand. You know, she kind of works off the jab. And a lot of good boxers do that. You know, there's a saying that the right hand will take you round the block, but the jab will take you around the world. Boxing fans know that quote. You know what I'm saying? It's a good quote. It's a real quote. Raquel Pennington shows us that. Like, she's going to work off the jab. You know, start with the lead hand and work off that. On the flip side, Ketlen Vieira's striking's not as technical as Rocky's, but she's got power. So even if Raquel Pennington's like outboxing Ketlen Vieira, she can level up the fight by landing a big right hand. And I've also noticed on tape that Raquel doesn't really keep that lead hand up. You know, she doesn't keep it close to her temple, which is the side of Ketlen's right hand. So if Raquel Pennington's not smart with her defense, that right hand may land. And it's powerful. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of power to the right hand of Ketlen Vieira. Now also thinking about the grappling with this matchup, I think, you know, it's difficult to say who's going to be the better grappler. I know Raquel Pennington's a good wrestler, but Ketlen Vieira's a big girl. You're not just going to throw this girl to the mat. She's big, she's strong. You know, if I had a gun to my head, I'd probably side with Ketlen being the one getting the takedown in this matchup. Guys, listen, this matchup, it really is a pick'em because Rocky's the better boxer. Rocky is more well-rounded. But like I said, Ketlen can level up the fight at any moment with a big right hand. You know, it's a pick'em. It's a good fight. For me, I'm going to side with Ketlen Vieira. My gut's telling me to make that pick. My head's not. My head's saying Rocky is more well-rounded. But I've got a feeling that the power of Ketlen Vieira may be the result. It might be. So for me, guys, I'm going to side with Ketlen Vieira. I think her big right hand could be landing at times in these rounds. And it could make the rounds difficult to score. You know, the type of round where you're saying Rocky landed more, Rocky showed more, but the big significant moment came from Ketlen Vieira, specifically the right hand. You know, she just keeps it loaded. So yeah, I'm going to side with the Brazilian Ketlen Vieira to win this matchup. Maybe to get a takedown or two also. So yeah, that's my pick. Punahele Soriano taking on Roman Kopylov. Guys, I do believe this one's more difficult to pick than it seems. You know, it kind of seems like just making a pick on Puna. You know, Puna's fought better competition, maybe looked a little bit better, and maybe that's the pick. But guys, when you really go look at the tape of Roman Kopylov, like specifically against Alessio Di Chirico, and then look at a couple fights that Puna's had, specifically look at what Puna likes to do compared to what Roman likes to do, just looking at techniques. Now what Punahele Soriano wants to do is just swing big hooks. You know, he doesn't really use a jab, where if you look at Roman Kopylov, it's more compact. Now, I'm not saying that's like a bad thing for Soriano, because that's just a style of fighter that he is. You know, he's more of a swing big hooks, that type of guy. So really what you've got with this matchup is going to be Soriano, who's a hook heavy guy, against Kopylov, who's more straight shots. And that's a good matchup. You've also got to factor in that when you swing heavy with the hooks, it does kind of drain the gas tank. You know, that takes a lot of energy. So if Soriano does that in round one and doesn't get a stoppage, he might start to slow down, and that's where Kopylov can like start to land his straight shots. He may start to really pick apart Soriano as this fight goes on. You know, straight shots versus wide hooks. I'm actually going to side with an unpopular pick. I know this is going to be an unpopular pick. I'm going to take the underdog, Roman Kopylov, to pick apart Soriano in this matchup. And like I said, the main reason for that is just a little bit more technical, likes to use the jab, likes to use straight shots. I do believe Soriano is more exciting, like he's more entertaining, but yeah, I like the composure and the technique of Roman Kopylov. And on top of that, he is an underdog. So yeah, that's going to be another underdog pick that I do make on this card. I'll take the Russian Roman Kopylov. Alright guys, moving into the co-main event, we've got Dan Ige taking on Damon Jackson. Now guys, if you said to me like, go look at Dan Ige's record, compare it to Damon Jackson's record. If you said to me make a pick based on paper, all day I'm going to pick Dan Ige. But I don't really make paper predictions. Like, I watch the tape, I look at what this fighter does compared to what the other fighter does, and then I imagine that against each other and I make a pick. But like I said, if you're going to make a pick based on what paper says, you're going to pick Dan Ige. Now guys, here's the thing with this matchup. If Damon Jackson goes in there and thinks he's going to strike with Dan Ige, he's going to get dusted. He's going to get knocked dead. His striking is not good. His striking defense is not good. You can strike with Damon Jackson. Like, you can knock this guy dead. So the game plan should not be, I'm going to strike with Dan Ige. That's not how he's going to win this matchup. Now, if Damon Jackson does want to win this matchup, it's pretty simple. You've got to grapple with Dan Ige. And that's not to say that Dan cannot grapple, because he can grapple. He's good at jiu-jitsu, he's a good wrestler. But that's going to be your best chance at winning this matchup. It's not going to be to strike. It's going to be to fatigue Dan. You know, you've got to grapple. Just be persistent with the grappling. And that's the only way that I really see Damon Jackson doing well in this matchup. You've just got to fatigue the opponent. You know, you look at what he done to Camuela Kirk. You know, just ragdolled that guy, mauled him. Damon Jackson's got good cardio. He's got good wrestling, he's got good jiu-jitsu. So that's really what he's got to do in this matchup. You've got to prove to be the better grappler. You've got to prove to have better cardio. And you've just got to fight your fight. And that's not striking. Now on the flip side, Dan Ige, is pretty simple. If you keep this fight standing, if you just keep to the striking, you may knock this guy dead. It's as simple as that. Now making a prediction, I think Damon Jackson, he doesn't look smart, he doesn't look intelligent, but maybe he does. Maybe he grapples with Dan Ige. You know, this guy's like half bald and he won't shave the rest of his hair. And that kind of makes me want to not pick him, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to pick another underdog. I'm going to pick Damon Jackson to win this matchup. If he tries to strike with Dan Ige, it's not going to go well. He's going to get dusted. If he tries to grapple and he's persistent with the grappling, it may go well. I'm going to side with Megamind Damon Jackson as an underdog to win this matchup with the grappling. Alright, moving into the main event, we've got KG taking on Nassourdine Imavov, and I think this main event's good. This main event's awesome, and the reason why it's an awesome main event, KG's a veteran, he's experienced, he's a fan favourite, he's a brilliant boxer. And when you picture KG, you know, you know what you're going to get. You're going to get a tough guy. You're going to get a good boxer. You're going to get a guy he's going to be there round in, round out. On the flip side, Nassourdine Imavov isn't as experienced as KG. You know, he's not a veteran and he's not as proven as KG. You know, if I had to make like a comparison, I think Nassourdine Imavov is like a 185 version of Cyril Gane. You know, they're essentially looking to do the same thing. They're essentially looking to be more fluid than the opponent, better footwork, light. You know, they're looking to control the distance, control the range. And obviously when you're looking to be in control of the fight, there's different ways to do that. But for Nassourdine Imavov, it's like Cyril Gane. You know, it's light, it's speed, it's kicks, it's fluid. Now guys, if we're going to speak about like the weaknesses of Nassourdine, maybe he gets held against the fence more than he should. Right, the opponent likes to push him against the fence. And maybe you want to speak or maybe mention about the cardio. The cardio against Buckley, you could see was kind of fatiguing towards the end of that fight. But guys, you do have to remember a 15-minute fight is a different pace to a 25-minute fight. You're not looking to save anything in a 15-minute matchup. Whereas with a 25-minute fight, you know you've got an extra 2 rounds, an extra 10 minutes. So you don't start as quick. Now guys, I mentioned that Nassourdine kind of gets stuck against defense. But I don't think that's going to happen with KG. I don't think KG can keep him against defense. You know, KG's probably not as physically strong as like Edmund Shabazian or Phil Hawes. You know, KG is a good wrestler, but I don't see him pushing Nassourdine against the fence and like keeping him against the fence. I don't see that. I think if KG is going to win this fight, Nassourdine's going to fatigue and KG's just going to be, you know, more successful with his boxing. Now guys, there's 2 points I want to make against KG. The first point, I don't think he's a natural 185er. He's not big at middleweight. You know, this is not a big 185er. And I do believe that it kind of shows in a few of his fights. You know, he's not a big 185er, and I think at times he kind of struggles to find his range. And because of that, he ends up getting hit more than he probably should. And he kind of shows his toughness more than he should. And that's purely because he's not as big as these other 185ers. You know, so it's difficult for him to fully be in control of the range. And you get hit. You get hit because of that. You know, we see it a lot in KG's fights, specifically against Robert Whittaker. You see it against Cannonier at times. You see it against Israel Adesanya. I know a lot of people are going to say, well, Nassourdine's not any of those, and he's not. It's Nassourdine, it's a different guy. But even then, Nassourdine does have the height, does have the reach. He is a natural 185er, and he likes to play the range game. He likes to be in control of the distance. In my opinion, I think it's a more difficult matchup for KG than what it is Nassourdine. Obviously, Nassourdine's not as tested, he's not as experienced. But when you think about the height, the natural 185er that Nassourdine is, the slick striker, the speed, when you think about all of these things, I see it being a problem for KG. Maybe KG works his way into the fight later on, but for the most part, I really do believe this is Nassourdine's main event to win, and that's going to be my pick. So these are my first predictions of the new year. I hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown. Subscribe if you did. Hamzat, smash the like button if you enjoyed. And as always, keep your eyes to the sky, never glued to your shoes. Let's go. Amen. Peace.